Hello, Square Design Summit. I'm Sam Z, Senior Community Events Manager at Squarespace, and I am thrilled to join you fine folks virtually today. I produce events for Squarespace's partner program, Circle. In case you don't already know, Circle is the partner program for web designers, developers, digital marketers, and creators who make websites for clients using Squarespace. If you found your way to this summit, you're most likely already a Circle partner. But if not, you can join the party at squarespace.com/circle. It's free to join, and you'll receive cool perks like extended trials, discounts, commissions for new projects, so much more. And if you're liking the vibe today, you should definitely check out our monthly talk show, Circle Live. And be sure to register for the largest annual gathering of Squarespace website creators, Circle Day, on October 21st. There you'll get to watch candid conversations with entrepreneurs and thought leaders about how to run a web design business in today's complex business landscape. Check out more upcoming events on our events calendar. But enough about us. Let's get down to web design. Over the past year, Squarespace has introduced a host of new releases just for pros. The latest and most exciting of these releases is Finish Layer, the suite of professional-grade tools for studio-quality web design built natively into the site editor. Now, let's check out an overview of Finish Layer with Pete, one of the designers who created the new tools.
Hi, I'm Pete, a staff designer at Squarespace. Today I'm going to show you how to elevate your website design and improve your visitor experience with Finish Layer, our new suite of professional-grade creative and editing tools. Squarespace is known for its best-in-class design, and now you can get studio-quality results to help your site look credible, stay authentic, and drive performance. First up, we'll look at block animations and block transforms, two new visual treatments that push your website design to the next level. Block animations are just like they sound, new ways to add motion to your content for a richer, dynamic scrolling experience. Start by selecting a block, then add a trigger from the Animation tab. You can apply a ready-to-go preset or click in to customize settings down to the percentage, degree, or pixel. You can also create an extra punch in 3D mode and fine-tune animation timing. Once finished, just hit the preview button to see your work in action. Keep in mind that too many animations on your site can sometimes overwhelm visitors, but everyone's style is unique, so definitely explore a few directions to see what feels best. You'll also see a list of transforms within the Design tab of a block's settings. These can affect the display and position of your content to add more nuance and personality. Explore options like skew and rotate. Then click into the anchor icon to adjust the relative center of content within its container. Together, block animations and transforms can reinforce your visual storytelling and draw more attention to the content you choose. Next, let's explore new responsive editing options to keep your content organized and better optimized for mobile. Layers are a new way to control the visibility of content when website blocks overlap. Just click into the Layers panel within a section and drag to rearrange the block order. That brings your most important content to the forefront and adds more depth to your design. Meanwhile, stacks help you arrange, align, or style multiple blocks together as a group. This makes it easier to create clean layouts and maintain visual consistency. Start by selecting the blocks you want, click the stack icon, then click the pencil icon to control design details, including animations and transforms. You can also rearrange a stack's block sequence from the Layers panel. Now for mobile improvements. Today, over 60% of all views to Squarespace sites are on mobile devices, so maintaining a cohesive mobile experience is critical. Every new Squarespace site gets a built-in mobile version that mirrors its desktop counterpart and flexes to every viewport. But sites with lots of content on desktop might feel misrepresented or too long on mobile. The good news is, you can now choose which blocks to show or hide on desktop or mobile with block hiding. There are two ways to hide a block. From the editor, go to the Layers panel again on any section and click the eye icon next to the block you want to hide. When doing this in the editor's mobile preview, that section will automatically adjust to remove negative space. In either view, you can also use the new right-click menu and select Hide on Desktop or Hide on Mobile. Just make sure to spot check all affected views after you hide a block. Mobile overrides are another way to create a different mobile design from your desktop, but more for layout and stylings. From your site's mobile view, you can select any block and make changes to its design properties, including transforms. These updates don't affect your desktop design and give you more freedom to control how your site looks across both devices. Last, let's see how font uploads can create consistent branding across more of your footprint. While your website is like your online home, you may already have created a brand identity elsewhere. To help you use the same font choice when it's not already in Squarespace, you can now upload external font files and apply them to your site. Go to the Site Styles tab and click on the arrow next to Fonts. From there, jump into Headings, Paragraphs, or Miscellaneous, select the drop-down, and click the upload icon at the top. All major font types are supported, and once uploaded, show up in the Uploaded section. You can then make your font the default for different text categories and adjust line height, letter spacing, and more. Finish Layer helps you refine your designs to create custom, professional-grade websites for your clients to stand out and succeed online. Make a statement with block animations and add expressive touches with block transforms. Simplify your workflow and create better mobile designs for your clients with responsive editing. Keep your clients' branding consistent across more of their presence with font uploads. And to grow your web design skills, join Squarespace Circle, the partner program for web designers and web design agencies. You'll join a global community of Squarespace product experts and will be one of the first to know about the new releases like the new Finish Layer editing tools. You'll also get exclusive discounts, extended trials to fine-tune your sites, and earn commissions for new projects. Learn more and join today at squarespace.com/circle.
So that's Finished Layer in a nutshell. Now, let's take a deeper look at how Finished Layer features can be applied to a project in Squarespace's editor to create a standout site for our fictional client, Lemon Studios. Here's Senior Product Designer Vanessa to show us how it's done.
Let's get started, guys. Okay. I'm going to show you how to create more immersive, visitor-optimized websites with Finish Layer. Finish Layer is our new suite of professional-grade design tools. We'll cover everything from rich visual treatments to flexible editing workflows and no-code customization. All these capabilities are built right into Squarespace, and they're intended to be powerful enough for pro designers, but also easy enough for anyone to use. That said, if you're not used to editing tools like this, it may take a bit of practice to get comfortable with them. But don't worry, we'll break it down together today. After our session, I hope you can play around with your own sites on these. All right, let's start off with our demo site. We're going to pretend that we're a digital agency and we're working on the home page. First up, we're going to take a closer look at block animations. These are exactly what they sound like. They're new ways to add motion to your site, so all the content on your site feels more dynamic and engaging. You can use animations to guide a visitor's attention as they navigate your site, but in addition to adding just elevated design touches, you can also take advantage of these animations and draw attention to calls to action or any other type of content on your site. Okay, let's get started and edit this page. So I'm going to go up to the upper left, hit edit, and I want to work on my text block with the spinning asterisk. So I can click on this block, I can click on the pencil icon inside the toolbar, and then I can open up the design settings modal. I'll switch over to the animation tab, and you can see that we already have a couple of animations added. But in order to add any new animations, we'll always click on the plus icon in the upper right. Right off the bat, we have some ready-to-use animations, and you can just click to apply them. But let's actually take a look at the drop-down up here. When we click on this drop-down, you can choose from a number of triggers. Triggers are important to know. Essentially, triggers are actions that have to happen for your animations to start. Each trigger has its own unique behavior, and most are activated from visitor actions, like using your mouse to hover or press on site elements, or using your mouse to scroll down the page. But a few, like follow and move, they play in the background ambiently. Okay. Let's say you wanted to add an appear trigger, which is dependent on scroll. You can click that option from the drop-down menu, and from here you have two paths. The options you see below in the menu are preset animations that have been created by myself and other designers, and they're intended to look great out of the box. You can click on any of them to preview what they look like and set animations just like that. If you like one of these presets, but maybe you want to tweak it a bit, say you might want to make it slower or faster, you can click on the settings slider in the top right corner of each tile to adjust these settings. We'll talk about all of these settings in just a moment, but let's go back because I want to show you how to create a new custom animation. So let's click the Start Blank button all the way down here, and it'll bring you to the same settings menu we just saw. We'll break down this panel. If you look up here, we have two tabs, Start and Timing. The options in the Start tab determine what the block looks like when the animation starts. So for example, if you enter 30 degrees into both of these skew fields, the block would look very tilted at the start and then build towards no tilt. So I'll just preview that real quick. So now we know by hitting preview what the animation will do. We'll talk about the other options here when we talk about block transforms very soon, but let's hop over to the timing tab and let's talk about what options are available there for you. I'll go down the list one by one. Ease refers to how the block will move throughout that animation. For example, when you open up this dropdown and let's select spring, it'll give you a bit of a bounce. So let me preview and show you what that looks like. You can see that's a pretty intense, fast bounce. While the other easings are variations without a bounce, I'll stick to spring for now. Duration, of course, is how long the animation will run. Here's the tip, 1 second is longer than you think, and many animations will likely be under 1 second, but I'll click on this field, I'll set mine to 1 second so you can see the animation better. I'll go down here and preview again, so you can see that bounce takes a little bit more time. Delay is the option you can set if you want to delay when the animation starts, but because I want this to start immediately, I'll keep it at 0. Let's scroll down a bit, and these last three settings, when, edge, and passes screen, are a bit tricky to explain individually, but it'll all make sense when we put it together, so bear with me. For when, we're going to specify whether you're referring to the block itself, so this asterisk, or the section. I'm going to set it to block. Edge refers to which part of the block, the top, the middle, or the bottom, that we want to use. So I'll keep this at the top, but the setting over here is the bottom, and the setting over here is the setting over here is the middle, and then the setting over here is the bottom. And passes screen is a percentage I can enter when the selected edge passes it. So we're going to keep this at 0%, which refers to the bottom of our screen. If we put these three settings together, we're essentially saying my animation will appear when the top edge of this block passes the screen by 0%. Again, that's referring to the bottom of the block. If I scroll back up, putting all of my settings together, it's like I'm telling my menu to say, build an animation that will appear with this spring motion, last 1 second, play immediately when the top edge, so this edge right here of my block, passes the bottom of the screen. And because it's already visible, when I hit play, let's go up to the upper right and hit page preview. We can see that that animation has started and plays immediately. Okay, let's go back and quickly adjust the passes screen setting to 100% so I can show you what happens there. When I set this to 100%, now I'm referring to the top of the screen. And I'll show you what the difference looks like. Let's go back to page preview. And because the top edge of that block hasn't yet passed the top edge of the screen, you'll see that the animation has not started yet. And this is why we're seeing the asterisk remain tilted. However, once you scroll, that's when the animation will transition from that extreme tilt to 0 tilt. Okay, let's take a breather. I know that is a lot of control, and I definitely encourage you to play around with these settings that we offer for pro designers. That said, you don't need to make your own animations from scratch, and there are plenty of great pre-made ones to work with, and you can tweak those settings. So let's go back, and I'm going to change my mind. I think that this pop preset will work pretty well, And let's preview what the end result feels like. Great. That feels a little bit calmer and matches the minimal aesthetic that I have for this site. Quick but important note, too many animations on your page may create a distracting or overwhelming visitor experience, so be selective of what you add and where. Okay, well, let's talk about block transforms. These are exactly what they sound like, settings that change or transform what your site content looks like. They aren't motion-based, but instead change how block content is positioned and displayed on your site at rest. Ultimately, transforms help you create more unique layouts and improve visual storytelling to reflect your brand. Let's demonstrate on this text block over here. So I'll select it. I'll go to the toolbar. I'll hit edit. I'll swap over to the design tab and scroll down. The best way to demonstrate these transform settings is to tweak them one by one. So we'll go down the list. Let's start with opacity. You can either type in the value that you want in each field, so let's say 50%, or you can use the scrubber on the right to experiment quickly with what that setting will do. I can also reset it back to the default real quickly. Let's go next to rotation. So we can split this block counterclockwise or clockwise to any amount that you desire. Let me reset that real quick. Scale is essentially the height and width of the block. X refers to width and Y refers to height. So you can see we can get some pretty intense changes. Offset will push the content of the block in whichever direction you set. X moves it horizontally, so I can have content peeking in from the screen, and the Y direction moves it vertically. Let me reset those real quick. Skew, if you remember, will tilt this piece of text to the left and right if we affect the X field, and to the top and bottom if we play around with the Y field. At the very bottom of this list, you'll see the anchor setting. Think of anchor like we're hammering a nail into the block, and all the transforms and animations we're tweaking from are going to affect the block from that point. So for example, if I set my anchor to the top left, and then I go up to adjust my rotation, you'll see it rotates from that point in the block. Since our site is a little bit more minimal, I'll reset all our values back to their defaults. But again, I encourage you to play around with these properties on your site. Awesome. Now that we've gone over transforms and animations, let me show you a few ways to control your design across devices and streamline your editing workflow. I'm going to scroll down to another section, and let me choose this one. And if you remember with our grid, we can layer images on top of each other to create some striking layouts. Let me move this down a little bit. While our section here is a simpler example, it can be a bit harder to see what you're editing when your layouts get more complex. This is why I want to show you the layers panel. The layers panel will be available in every section you have. So if we hover over this section, we have a new action in the upper left. And when I click on it, all of the blocks in this section will be available. As I move my cursor down these cells, you'll see that the corresponding block on the page is highlighted to show me which one it is. I can access their toolbars by clicking on the layer, or I can click the eye icon to the right of any of these blocks to hide and show them. So I can hide this image and then bring it back. You can also click and drag to reorganize these layers. Let me scroll down a bit. This panel is organized in a top-down way. In other words, this image at the very top of my panel is my forwardmost layer, and everything beneath it is layered behind it. So if I move this image block if I move this image block below the other one, you can see that the second image is now above the first image. I'm going to move this back. The more layers you have, the more difficult it can be to actually click on what you want on the page. So for those of you who will be making more complex section layouts, please take advantage of this menu. Cool. Let's also check out our new right-click menu. In order to do that, you can click on any block you want using the right-click, and you'll see some very familiar actions. You can copy and paste blocks, you can duplicate and delete them, and you can locally control layering in just a few clicks. So these are the actions that we just saw in the layers panel. To demonstrate fully these capabilities, I'll show you how these options help make device-specific edits. That means creating a unique design on mobile that doesn't reflect on desktop and vice versa. Let's switch over to mobile. Like you saw in our layers panel, a right-click menu lets you hide specific blocks on desktop or mobile. That means you can tailor site content to each device, optimizing both the desktop and mobile designs for your visitor experiences. Putting this into practice, you may want to hide higher resolution images or videos that could reduce load times on mobile. Or let's take this image, for example. I think it's taking too much space when there's already content in the section beneath that I want my visitors to see sooner. When I right-click on this image, I can select Hide on Mobile, and you can see that the section will auto-adjust to remove negative space and reduce the page length. I actually also want to do that in the section above. So let's scroll up, and I see that these two sections are taking too much space. So let's hide them using the layers panel. I'll move this over to the left just a little bit, and as I select the stacks that I want to hide, I can click on the eye icon, as well as this one, and you can see that the section again has auto-adjusted and removed any negative space. The result is a clearer, shorter mobile design that better presents content sooner and is more likely to prompt your site visitors to key actions or conversion moments. But wait, there is more. You can continue refining device-specific designs with mobile overrides. Whereas hiding blocks fully removes blocks from one device view, mobile overrides customizes layout and styling settings on individual device views. Let's use this button block, for example. Right now, it looks the same on desktop and mobile. But I want the button to fill its container on mobile so visitors have an easier time tapping it when they're scrolling on their phone. Let's select this button. Let's click on the pencil icon, swap over to the Design tab, and find the fill setting. When I click on it, now the button has taken up more space. But let's see how that button looks on desktop. So I'll go up here and I'll switch to desktop view, and great, it's still using its fit setting so that the emphasis is more on the images. Let's go back to mobile and take a closer look at the panel. Let me open it up real quick and let's dissect this. An outline will appear on the setting that's different from desktop view. I also have a new action up here that when I click on it, I see a couple of options. These options allow me to push the mobile design change that I just made to my desktop version or revert back to the desktop design by resetting all overrides. Because over half of all traffic on Squarespace sites come from mobile devices, refining your mobile site experience is more critical than ever. And now you have a lot of power and customization to work with. Okay, let's switch back over to desktop view. I want to give you a sneak peek to an upcoming capability that I'm really excited about called Stacks. To clarify, this isn't a live functionality on Squarespace today, but it is coming very soon. Stacks is a new way to select multiple blocks and cleanly arrange, align, or style them as one unified group. Let's take a look at where we can create a stack, and I'll go down to the next section, and I think this is a good section to work with. I see that these text, image, and button blocks are all a bit too spaced out for my liking, and I would like a bit more control over them. So what I can do is that I can drag to select multiple blocks, and inside the groups toolbar, I'll see this new action called Stacks. Clicking that will merge individual elements into a single group and snap to a better organized layout. Let's take a look at the options that we had for Stacks. If I move over to the right, I can click on the Stack button inside the toolbar and it'll give me a couple of quick shortcuts. I can orient the blocks vertically, or I can orient them horizontally with a couple of clicks. I can also unstack them by clicking this icon, but we'll keep them vertically stacked for now. If I click on the pencil icon and open up the settings menu, I'll see even more design settings available to me. Now I have granular control over the gap between all of my elements, so I can get it tighter than what the grid allows. I can also add top and bottom padding, as well as left and right padding to start building out cards. If I scroll down, you'll see additional settings like design properties and the transforms that we just talked about, as well as the animation tab to indicate that we can add all these capabilities to groups. There are a lot of levers that you can pull here. Okay, that covers all of our responsive editing features, but I've got one more thing to show you. It's pretty straightforward, but can make a big difference with brand recognition and consistency. When you build your site, you choose from a library of multiple high-quality fonts to land on, the best fit for your unique identity. But you may be using a different font across other touchpoints that aren't offered in Squarespace's editor. Now you can upload external font files and apply them across your site. You can do this in site styles, so I'll click on the paintbrush icon to open that. I'll click on fonts, and I'll click on any of the font styles that are used on my site, so heading, paragraphs, or buttonings. I'll click on headings. I'll click on the dropdown that is responsible for the font that my headings use. And over to the right, I see this upload icon. I'm going to click on it, and real quick, just to demo it from scratch, we see an ability to upload custom fonts. So I'm going to drop my custom font in. And while we're waiting for that custom font to upload, I'll talk about fonts. You can now upload a range of font file types into the editor in a matter of seconds. Some font files may include multiple style and weight options that you can choose from, and these also adapt to standard font controls like letter spacing and text transforms, just like your previous fonts. I see that my upload has finished pretty quickly, so when I hit back, I can see that my uploaded font is ready to use, and all I have to do is click on it to select it. Now I can see that my site brand has totally changed. Let me close this, go back one level, and I might want to upload that font to my paragraphs as well. So in order to do that, I'll click on paragraphs, I'll click on the drop-down responsible for the font, and I can see that my custom font is available and ready to use. Awesome. Using the same font across your site and other surfaces will create a more cohesive brand identity that unifies your digital and physical presence. It may seem like a small change, but can go super far in the long run. Okay, that was long, but that is actually it. To recap, we've made a bolder statement with transforms and animations. We've optimized editing workflows between desktop and mobile. We've created more customization and organization with stacks. And we've also refined our brand identity with custom fonts.
Scan the QR code to find out which Finish Layer tool best aligns with your personality. Share with your friends, colleagues, and other Circle partners, people who get it. As for me, this may not surprise you, I am Block Animations. And with that, we're now officially finished with this layer of the Square Design Summit. It has been a pleasure to share Finish Layer with you today, and I hope we can do it again soon at an upcoming episode of Circle Live or on Circle Day. And if you're not already a Squarespace Circle partner, don't miss out on the fun. Join Circle today at squarespace.com/circle. And be sure to join us online for Circle Day on October 21st. Until next time, I'm Sam Z. Please enjoy the rest of the Square Design Summit. The view looks great from up here. Get it because it's a summit. We're at the top and okay.